Acid reflux. When the acidic juices of your stomach splash upwards into your esophagus, the result is heartburn. And normally, there's a ring of muscles called the esophageal sphincter that prevents stomach acid from entering into your esophagus. But if your muscles relax or open under pressure from the acidic juices inside your stomach, heartburn may result. Everyone gets heartburn or acid reflux from time to time, but if it's severe or persistent and it occurs 2 or more times per week, it's called gastroesophageal reflux disease, also known as GERD, G-E-R-D. And chronic GERD has the potential to scar and damage the lining of your esophagus. And this can lead to a condition called Barrett's esophagus, which carries the risk of developing esophageal cancer. So this is not a good thing. It can be serious. And heartburn, there are many causes to heartburn or acid reflux. It can be caused by overeating, stress, wearing clothes that are too tight, lying down right after eating. So it's always good to not go to sleep right after you eat. So you shouldn't eat right before bedtime. Make sure that it's actually really good to take a light walk or to do some cleaning of the kitchen after a meal. Alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine relax the esophageal sphincter and allow stomach acid to enter the esophagus. So that's another factor that can contribute to heartburn or acid reflux. Alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine. And also certain kinds of spicy food can also cause heartburn in certain people, not all. And poor digestion is another major contributor to GERD. Now, a very common mistake that people make when they have heartburn or acid reflux is to take antacids such as Tums, Maalox, or Rolaids. And this only makes things worse, since the calcium in these products actually stimulates acid release. And there's a rebound effect when too much buffer enters the stomach, and the result is an outpouring of stomach acid. And some of these antacids also contain dangerous aluminum. The solution to a problem is not always found at the level of the problem. Chasing symptoms with antacids and other medication can be a dead-end street unless you're dedicated to personally enriching the stockholders of pharmaceutical companies. So I'd like to give you some holistic home remedies that you can try from some top holistic healers. One of them is a medical doctor and a naturopath who wrote a book together, and the doctor specializes in gastrointestinal disorders, and the naturopath suffered from severe gastrointestinal disorder himself. And they wrote a book together, and also recommendations from my teacher in orthomolecular nutrition or orthomolecular medicine, Dr. Andrew Saul, not a medical doctor, but a scientist, as well as from some master herbalists who have helped me and my students and many others, thousands of others, immensely. These people have. So the first holistic home remedy that I'd like to recommend are digestive enzymes. Now, digestive enzymes, you can take 1 to 3 caplets or capsules of full spectrum enzymes with each meal and even with every snack that you eat. You can also take enzymes to treat an acute attack of heartburn, but of course prevention is always the best approach. And sometimes taking digestive enzymes alone cures GERD. And this recommendation comes from the gastrointestinal medical doctor and naturopath, as well as other holistic healers, digestive enzymes. But this was one of the top things that the gastrointestinal doctor's name is Dr. Joseph Brasco, and the book that he wrote with Jordan Rubin, naturopath. So digestive enzymes. Now, enzymes help you to digest foods more effectively so that they are less likely to cause irritation. Now, some people may need to use a formula that contains no protease, as this protein, digestive enzyme, may irritate the stomach. Now, you can download the notes and resources for this holistic health lesson at aruka.com/reflux. That's arukah.com/reflux. And in that, for this slide, I have a link where it says take 1 to 3 capsules full spectrum enzymes. I have a link, and it goes to an Amazon page that shows you the different types of enzymes that you can purchase on Amazon. So you can, you don't even have to go to a store to look for it, although you can buy digestive enzymes. I know you can find them at Sprouts if you have one near you, or Whole Foods. Okay. Also, if you eat more dried figs, fresh pineapple, fresh kiwi fruit, and dried or fresh papaya, these foods are loaded with digestive enzymes naturally. So my favorite brand for full spectrum digestive enzymes is Bluebonnet. Bluebonnet Full Spectrum Optimum Enzymes, and you can get this on Amazon. And I've seen Sprouts carry Bluebonnet stuff, but if you can't get this brand, I think that's okay. But I think I really like Bluebonnet's products and the quality of their supplements. They really helped me and many others. Okay, and the next thing that I'd like to share is that we should make sure that we have very good eating habits. This is very important to avoid acid reflux. Good eating habits means doing things like chewing your food thoroughly, making sure that's fully masticated. So just chew it as long as you can. Don't eat in a rush. Make lunch your biggest meal, again, so that you can avoid going to sleep while your body is trying to digest your food, because this can contribute to acid reflux. Also, don't eat about 3 to 5 hours before bedtime. Don't eat if you go to sleep at 10. Don't eat any later than, let's say, 6 or 7 if you are suffering, especially if you're suffering from digestive enzymes. Eating at 5 p.m. Probably would be the best if you go to bed at 10, so that your body has enough time to digest the food that you eat, which can help avoid the reflux. Also, no fried or junk foods. Now, also, when I say junk food, that means basically things that you buy that are packaged. Fried food is really bad, but any of the packaged foods, like chips, they don't they don't see, usually when I think of fried foods, I'm thinking like French fries or fried chicken or something like that. But even things like chips, and these different snack foods that have these bad oils in it, even though maybe it might not be fried, but it still has those bad oils in it, which is hard to digest and toxic. Also, stop eating processed meats. Processed meats are things like hot dogs, pepperoni, lunch meats like bologna, ham, turkey slices, those kinds of processed meats. They're high in nitrites. These foods are toxic and hard to digest. Also very important is not to overeat, and don't eat on the run. Take your time eating, and make sure you chew that food well. Don't eat in a rush. Don't eat on the run. Okay, so the book that I am talking about that was written by the naturopath Jordan Rubin, He's also the author of The Maker's Diet, and I believe that book describes the ideal diet for humans. And also, this book was written by Joseph Brasco. He's a medical doctor that specializes in digestive disorders. And the book is called Restoring Your Digestive Health. And in this book, for acid reflux and GERD, they recommend the best foods to eat are, number one, cultured goat's milk dairy products. So, for example, goat kefir, also goat yogurt, and of course, there's regular kefir and regular cow milk yogurt, but goat milk yogurt and goat milk kefir is even better because goat milk is closer to human milk, so it's more easily digestible. So goat milk is just more preferable, and especially good for acid reflux is if you buy cultured goat milk dairy products like kefir and goat milk yogurt. And I have seen these things at stores like Trader Joe's and I think Sprouts. I'm sure Whole Foods has it. Okay, other really good foods to eat for acid reflux is grass-fed red meat. Also omega-3 eggs, so eggs that have been fed, where the chickens have been fed food that is rich in omega-3. Also coconut oil. So if you're going to cook with oil at all, it's good to use coconut oil instead of the other oils. Also ocean-caught fish as opposed to farm-raised fish. So for example, wild-caught salmon as opposed to farm-raised salmon. Cod liver oil, and you can just take cod liver oil just kind of like a supplement. It's really good for your digestive system. Also fresh vegetable juice. This is a way to alkalinize your body, which is good for acid reflux. And also it's good for getting a lot of nutrition out of the vegetables without having to go through a lot of digestive processes to get the nutrition out, because your digestive system is like a juicer. It processes the food that you eat to take the nutrients out of it. But if you juice your food, especially when you juice your vegetables, you are doing a lot of work for your digestive system and getting a lot of those nutrients out with the juicer, instead of having to do it with your mouth and chewing it, and with your digestive system in digesting it and assimilating it. Well, it'll still assimilate it, but at least the digestive process. Another really good and healing food for your gut and digestive system is broth, bone broth. And what's especially good about broth is the collagen in it, the collagen from bone broth. And you can take a supplement of collagen. It's very easy to take, especially if if you don't have a lot of time to make bone broth. You can take a collagen powder and mix it in just about any drink. It's quite flavorless. So if you put it in juice or tea or even water, it doesn't taste like much. You can just drink it up. It's very good for healing your digestive tract and other things too, like your hair and skin and nails. It's really good for a lot of things. And also, naturopath Jordan Rubin and Dr. Joseph Brasco recommend drinking lots of water, of course, and a lot of holistic healers recommend drinking lots of water for your digestive tract, but specifically they recommend drinking structured mineral water. If you can get that, or get a device that creates structured water, that is highly recommended. Now let's talk about hydrochloric acid, which is basically hydrogen chloride. This is another way to improve overall digestion by taking this supplement. And I have a link in the resources document to an Amazon search where there's different brands of hydrochloric acid. Now, although taking hydrochloric acid to treat an acid-related problem may seem paradoxical, it can actually be quite effective. Despite popular misconceptions, increased acid output is not generally associated with acid reflux disease. And taking hydrochloric acid will improve many people's digestion and subsequently improve their acid reflux symptoms. Himalayan pink salt is a good high-quality salt to choose when you're cooking and flavoring your food, because the body needs the chloride to make hydrochloric acid, and Himalayan pink salt can provide that. Now, another home remedy is apple cider vinegar. You can dilute 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar in an 8-ounce glass of water and just drink it just before eating. And you can do this, before every meal, so 3 times a day. And the best, it needs to be raw. It needs to be raw apple cider vinegar. You can buy this from Amazon, or you can actually, I think these days a lot of stores carry raw apple cider vinegar. The most famous brand that I know of is Bragg's raw apple cider vinegar, but there's other brands as well. Just make sure that it's raw. Now, acid reflux is often a result of having low stomach acid. So if this is the case, consuming apple cider vinegar may help provide relief from acid reflux symptoms by introducing more acid into the digestive tract to prevent acid backflow. In fact, as we talked about before, acid-reducing medications, which is the most common treatment for the disorder, may in fact be harmful over the long run, because it actually happens because you're not producing enough. Okay, so there was a case study that involved a 73-year-old woman with Parkinson's disease who suffered from chronic acid reflux and constipation. And she found that a combination of apple cider vinegar, DGL Licorice, which we'll talk about later, and a probiotic and magnesium supplement resulted in a 50% improvement in acid reflux after 5 days and complete resolution of symptoms after 1 month. So that's a pretty powerful case study there. Okay, now let's talk about DGL licorice. Now, DGL licorice is a special type of licorice, and it's a licorice extract that soothes and heals your stomach and your esophagus, and it doesn't cause high blood pressure like regular licorice does. So DGL stimulates cell growth of the mucus layer that lines the stomach and the intestines, and it also improves blood flow and reduces muscle spasms. And there's a study that was done on 100 people that compared the effects of DGL to those of the pharmaceutical antacid drug Tagamet, and found that both were equally effective for healing ulcers. But of course, because DGL licorice is from an herb, it's from something very natural, it is much safer with less side effects, especially in the long run. DGL licorice. And again, if you get my resources at aruka.com/reflux, there will be a link to where you can get that on Amazon, or you can just do a search for it as well. You can chew 1 to 2 tablets, 400 milligrams each tablet, or you can take it in powder form, and you can take that 20 minutes before each meal. So this is another thing that you can do. Of course, I would definitely start with the enzymes first and try that first. But this is just another thing that you can experiment with and see what you like the best, or maybe you get sick of one thing sometimes, Now the next thing is I don't think this is something that should only be taken when you're experiencing acid reflux. But really, this is so important for everyone to make sure that they are getting beneficial bacteria, probiotics in their system. This is not only good for acid reflux, but it's also good for just maintaining a healthy immune system. Now, I only buy probiotic supplements that have 50 billion CFUs or more daily. There's a lot of them out there that are like 5 billion, 10, 15 billion. And I just think it's like, you're going to spend money, you might as well get the strong stuff. And this is a good thing to take just regularly, whether you're experiencing acid reflux or not. Most people do not have or don't live the kind of lifestyles that is necessary to keep a healthy amount of good gut bacteria inside their digestive tract. Some brands that I really like are Gero, Gero's formulas, and so I think their probiotic is called Gerodophilus. You can get that from Sprouts, Whole Foods, or other health food store. Trace Minerals has also a probiotic supplement that our family likes and we consume. Also, Ancient Nutrition. They have a soil-based probiotic supplement, which is beneficial as well. And so I really like to just cycle through the different brands. There are advantages to each proprietary blend. And so these probiotics contain friendly bacteria such as Lactobacillus, Acidophilus, and Bifidus, which improve your digestive function and boost your immune system, your immune health. You can also eat raw fermented foods just as our ancestors frequently did. Foods like raw sauerkraut, raw kimchi, raw fermented pickles, kombucha, raw yogurt, raw kefir, tempeh, and other foods like that. And the reason why I'm emphasizing raw is sometimes these foods are sold in the stores, but they're no longer raw. And if they're no longer raw, that means the good probiotics have been lost. Okay, so common things that prevent us from having the kind of probiotics that we should, and that our ancestors had, is that we don't eat as much of these raw fermented foods anymore because we have access to fresh vegetables even out of season all year round. And this is one unnatural thing. And while having fruits and vegetables can be beneficial for certain reasons, it is actually not good for getting probiotics. You know, our ancestors would ferment foods in order to preserve them, and that was our source of fermented foods. And every culture has their own fermented foods. In the Philippines, we have fermented fish and fermented I think mangoes and different things like that. So every culture has their own fermented foods, but these days it's been been drastically reduced. So raw fermented foods, but for people who can't or don't eat raw fermented foods on a regular basis, then a probiotic supplement is really, really good for that. Another thing that drastically reduces the probiotics in our body is the use of antibiotics. Just one course of antibiotics can eliminate all the good bacteria in our body, and unless we replenish it, we're going to be lacking, and we'll be prone to diseases such as acid reflux and other things that having low probiotics can cause. And also our addiction to an overly sanitary environment is actually also very bad for probiotic and good gut health. Dirt also has some very good bacteria, but because we have become so afraid of dirt, I'm not saying, we shouldn't wash our hands before we eat, but, you know, children have a very strong immune system, and they are not as meticulous as we are about avoiding dirt. And also, our ancestors, when they would grow their own vegetables and pick them to eat them, they would just pretty much just wash them and then cook them, and a lot of the beneficial bacteria would still be on those vegetables. Okay, but nowadays when we're buying produce from the stores, a lot of times they will chemically wash those fruits and vegetables so that there's no trace of anything on them, and we come out with a very clean piece of produce, but we have also stripped it of good probiotics. Now, this is not the story if you're buying produce from a farmer's market, usually, because the local farmers don't put it through those types of chemical washes and stuff like that. But it is true if you go to a regular grocery store and you buy produce that has been grown and packaged by these industrial farms and industrial food sources like packaged lettuce and anything packaged, and most of the things from conventional grocery stores. Now, magnesium was the other supplement that was taken in the case study that I mentioned. And magnesium is a mineral that is basically deficient in most human beings today, unless they are supplementing. And that's for various reasons. Our soil is depleted. We are not drinking mineral-rich water from their sources anymore, and that's why most people are deficient in magnesium. Another herb that I think is worth mentioning is slippery elm, and this is an herb that is recommended by herbalists for acid reflux. It's used to soothe and reduce inflammation of the lining of the esophagus and the stomach, and it coats and soothes from the mouth all through the whole intestinal tract. And it contains antioxidants that can help address inflammatory bowel conditions. It stimulates nerve endings in your gastrointestinal tract, and this helps increase mucus secretion, which protects against ulcers and excess acidity. You can take 1 teaspoon or 300 milligrams of the capsules, or 3 milliliters of a tincture 3 times daily. And you can get that from Amazon. And it's worth mentioning, I think, because it's a classic herbal remedy. Okay, now I'd like to talk about Helicobacter pylori, also known as H. pylori. Now, in 1984, Dr. B.J. Marshall made a revolutionary medical discovery when he uncovered the connection between ulcer disease and the germ known as H. pylori. Before this study, the medical world had accepted the notion that ulcers were caused by stress, which was known to increase levels of stomach acid. But now we know that this organism is also largely responsible for chronic gastritis, as well as several forms of stomach cancer. In fact, infections involving this germ cause a loss of stomach acid and an eventual shrinking of the stomach lining, or gastric atrophy. This in turn causes the cells lining the stomach to begin their transformation into precancerous cells, or metaplasia. Of course, curing the H. pylori infection often leads to the return of stomach acidity, which is good, but the germ also depletes the stomach's levels of vitamin C, which is critical for iron absorption and protection against stomach cancer. And just vitamin C is also just good for your overall immune system in general. In fact, H. pylori infection boosts your risk of getting stomach cancer by 600%. Smoking, alcohol abuse, a poor diet devoid of fruits and vegetables, and low vitamin C intake all dramatically elevate this risk. So we also have to consider the finding that bacterial overgrowth in the stomach, the result of reduction in stomach acid, also amplifies the cancer risk posed by nitrites and nitrates in processed foods. This is why earlier I was talking about how packaged food like hot dogs, bologna, ham, sliced turkey, deli meat, sausage, etc., and some canned foods have these nitrites, which are not good if you have the H. pylori virus. So, avoiding smoking and alcohol, or minimizing it at least, eating lots of fruits and veggies, taking vitamin C every day, avoiding nitrites, and also eating ginger are all great for fighting the H. pylori virus or germ. So for ginger, you can chew on fresh ginger root. You just chew on it, or you can make a tea with fresh or powdered ginger. They sell ginger tea in tea bags. It's very common, and ginger has been shown to suppress H. pylori and prevent the formation of ulcers. Thank you so much for listening to this holistic health and healing lesson. And I'm Mime, your naturopathic herbalist and holistic life coach. And remember, you can get these the notes and resources and the slides for this wellness webinar at arukah.com, arukah.com/reflux, REFLUX. Now, if you are interested in personal health coaching, you can go to arukah.com, arukah.com/start/coaching. Shalom. Would you like to become the healer of your home and your community and create a profitable online health coaching business? Are you interested in becoming a health coach, a naturopath, an herbalist, or a nutritionist? Do you need help finding the right program for studying holistic health and healing? Or perhaps you already have certification, but you're still not confident enough in healing people and don't know how to build a business that will empower you to have an impact and allow you to leave your regular day job. Are you ready to get a deep and comprehensive picture of holistic health and healing and learn from top healers in our day so that you can stop being stuck in a job or a career you don't have a passion for? Heal yourself and others without the need for pharmaceutical drugs with harmful side effects, doctors, or even dentists. Become more knowledgeable about holistic health and healing than most medical doctors who have graduated from medical school without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of time in expensive medical schools or programs. Build a health coaching business that will allow you to work from home and achieve time, location, and financial freedom. Arukah.com empowers people to become the healers of their home and their community by equipping them with naturopathic herbalism, health coaching, and online business and marketing skills. My name is Mime. I'm 42 years old and a homeschool mom of 7 beautiful children. These 2 in the photo are my October babies. I became a naturopathic herbalist and health coach in order to take charge of my family's health when the modern medical system kept failing us. We were spending thousands of dollars on insurance and other medical expenses, but they did not have any answers for our health problems. Working from home has been such a blessing for us. I used to work at the NASA Ames Research Center as a computer scientist/engineer. But being able to have an online business has enabled me to surpass my income at NASA and to be there for my family, homeschool them, take care of them, watch them grow up every step of the way for 18 years now. I started Arukah.com in 2009 to help people become healthy and heal themselves. I've coached all sorts of people, and eventually even medical doctors and nurses started coming to me repeatedly for help for various health issues for themselves or their loved ones. I help people heal themselves of serious diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and high blood pressure, diabetes, as well as other common issues such as hormone imbalances, abnormal bleeding, migraines, eczema, kidney stones, gallstones, cataracts, and even urinary tract infection. Various people began asking me to start teaching what I know about holistic health and healing, including 2 medical doctors who have become very good friends of mine. When I realized that there was such a demand for the knowledge I have, that even medical doctors were telling me to teach, I shifted the focus of Aruka.com, and now we teach people how to become confident healers through our naturopathic herbalist and health coach certification program. We help people become healers of their home and community and create profitable online health coaching businesses. If you're interested in becoming a holistic healer, please visit our website, aruka.com, ARUKAH.com. Again, that's ARUKAH.com. Hope to see you there.